Yes, Judge, we're ready.
Okay. I'm ready to get going whenever you are.
Okay. We have everybody present, sir.
Okay.
The one I was talking over.
All right. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 11 o'clock here this morning on February 23rd of 2025. This is the first appearance calendar. My name is Judge Marcus Thorpe, and I'm one of the associate magistrate judges here in Clayton County. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move through here this morning, if you are having trouble hearing me, please let me know, as I'm going to be imparting some very important information to each and every one of you, both before and during today's calendar. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, please remember this is your first appearance. I am not here for trial or in any way to try your case or take a plea or to have any specific legal discussion about the facts of your case. The purpose of today's hearing is to advise you of what you've been charged with, to advise you of your legal rights, to set bond on those offenses where bonds should be set, to schedule a preliminary hearing where necessary, and also to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney. Ms. Day, I don't know if you saw my email earlier, but we don't have a need for an interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor. I did, but I wasn't sure. So I appreciate it.
Yes, one of the deputies responded back and confirmed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have the right to remain silent. Please do not attempt to tell me the specifics about your case or any legal defense that you may have. Because as I said earlier, we're streaming live, and you don't want to make myself or anyone else that is surrounding you, the deputies or any other inmates, witnesses, or the fact that this is recording being used against you. In addition to the right to remain silent, you also have the right to a presumption of innocence. You have the right to a grand jury for felonies and by accusation for misdemeanors. You have a right to a speedy and public trial by jury. You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf. You have the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you. You have the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense. You have the right to have an attorney represent you, and if you cannot afford one, then I can consider whether you qualify to have one appointed for you free of charge. And then lastly, if there are any of you all who are not citizens, some charges here this morning may adversely affect your immigration status. And so I would strongly advise that you seek representation from an immigration attorney. Now, as I said, in addition to advising you of what you've been charged with, part of what I'll be doing is setting bond where appropriate this morning. Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds, which will release you from jail, not to dismiss your case, but to allow you to be outside until such time as your case is resolved. Now, there are three ways, ladies and gentlemen, to make bond. The first will be by property, the second will be by cash bond, and then the third is by commercial bond. If you post what is called a cash bond, that means you deliver the full amount to the sheriff's office plus any mandated fees, and then you are allowed to be released. So the example I like to use is if you're charged with a one count of battery family violence, and I'll tell you this morning your bond is $5,000. If you want to pay cash, you would pay cash $5,000 plus any fees to the sheriff, and then you are released. Now, if you don't have that money in full, you have the option of using the second way to make your bond, which is through a bonding company. A bonding company typically requires 12 to 15% of the bond amount, but the difference is between a cash bond and a commercial bonding company. When you use a bonding company, you don't get that money back. Okay, so with the cash, if you pay the $5,000, you pay the fees. Once your case is closed, you get that money back. If you use a bonding company, you're only going to pay 12 to 15%, so roughly about $750, but you don't get that money returned to you. Now, the final way to make bond would be the use of a property bond. And that's where either you or someone you know has at least 3 times the bond amount in equity in their home. So again, if I tell you your bond is $6,000 on a battery family violence, and you own a home or someone you know owns a home or owns a piece of property, they have to have at least 3 times. So in that case, $18,000 in equity And then what they would do is bring the deed to that piece of property down to the sheriff, who will hold it until your case is closed and then return it to you or to whomever posted it. Now, in addition to your bond, I will advise some of you all that you have what are called bond conditions, meaning if I tell you that you are not allowed to speak to someone or have contact with someone while your case is pending, or if I tell you that you are not to return to a place while your case is pending. Ladies and gentlemen, if I tell you to not have contact with someone, that means to stay away from them completely. That means don't email them, don't text them, don't write them, don't DM them in Instagram, on X, Facebook. Don't even do something as nice as write a song. When I tell you to stay away from a place, that means stay away until your case is closed. If that was a place that you were living at prior to this incident allegedly happened, you still have to stay away. But I most likely will tell you that you can go back so long as you are accompanied with the sheriff and you're only going back to get things that belong to you, and then you must leave. Unless and until your case is closed or that bond is modified. Your failure to listen to me can subject you to new felony charges such as influencing a witness or stalking, and up to 20 years in prison, or a $20,000 fine. Now, there are some of you, ladies and gentlemen, that I will not be able to grant bond here this morning to, and that's either because you are on active felony probation or because your type of facts do not warrant such a bond. And for those situations, I will tell you so. Now, lastly, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started here with the calendar, I need to talk to you about one last thing, and that's called a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is not your trial. It's before your case gets charged, but it's where you are present, your attorney is present, and the judge to review the evidence against you and determine if there is enough evidence for your case to go forward to the prosecutor. If they determine that there is not enough evidence, your case can be dismissed. It doesn't mean that it won't come back, but it can be dismissed for the time being, okay? Now, if you're charged with a felony, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna give you a preliminary hearing date regardless this morning. If you are charged with a misdemeanor, battery, family violence, simple assault, DUI, traffic charges, you will get the opportunity to determine if you want that preliminary hearing or not. If you want that hearing date set, when I ask, you would tell me yes. If you don't want that hearing date set and you'd rather me move your case a little faster along to the prosecutor, you would just simply tell me, Judge, I do not want a preliminary hearing and I'd like to waive my preliminary hearing right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So if I could have everyone please raise your right hand.
Raise your right hand.
Other hand, ma'am. There you go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to provide here this morning, as well as the information you provide on the court-appointed counsel sheets, is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge? And if so, I need for each of you to please repeat, I do. All right. All right, if we could, then first up, we will have the on-jots women, I believe, as noted there in front of me, there are only 3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so let me get the calendar back up here. I believe first up, I have Ashley Mbah, MBAH. Are you Miss Ashley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ashley, you are charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol, 1 count of failure to maintain lane, 4 counts of felony bribery, 1 count of driving under the influence per se, and 1 count of driving under the influence less safe. Because you are charged with felonies, ma'am, I'm going to give you your bond this morning, but you're going to get a preliminary hearing date. And so, ma'am, unless you get out on bond before that hearing date comes up, your next court date is going to be March 24th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Again, that's going to be March 24th, and that's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. March 24th, 8:30 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. Now, let me ask you this. Are you currently working?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much do you make per month, ma'am?
I'd say like 4,500 a month, or 4,400 a month.
Okay. So based on that, ma'am, I'm going to have to advise you that if you intend to move forward with an attorney here for your case, you will have to hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. I already have an attorney.
Okay, great. Now, as far as your bond, ma'am, the first count of DUI is a bond of $3,500. The failure to maintain lane is $500. Each of the counts of bribery carries a bond of $5,000, and then the other 2 counts of DUI carry a bond of $3,500. So your total bond, ma'am, is $31,000. Do you understand that? Do
Yes, Your Honor.
you have any questions of me, ma'am?
So 12% of that would be how much?
So 12 to 15%, you're looking at about between $3,100 and $3,300 that you would be responsible for.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay? All right, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Step around. Oh, to the deputy. No, this way.
Oh, sorry.
Next up should be McWilliams,
Big Williams.
and then after that, I have Williams. Are you Miss McWilliams?
Yes.
Miss McWilliams, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery. That is a misdemeanor, ma'am. So you have the right, that option to have that preliminary hearing I spoke of, or you can waive your right to the preliminary hearing. Would you like to have your hearing or waive it?
I'll have it.
Okay, so ma'am, if you don't make the bond that I'm gonna set for you this morning, then your next court date is going to be, yeah. Oh, okay, I thought I heard someone. So your next court date, ma'am, should you not make your bond, is gonna be March 26th, and that's gonna be at 8 a.m., excuse me, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Okay, again, that's gonna be March 26th, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom, okay? You hear me, well, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And so again, March 25th, excuse me, not the 26th, March 25th. Now, as far as your bond here this morning, I am going to grant you bond. Your bond amount, ma'am, is going to be $2,500. Now, you will have special conditions. That means you are to stay away from the individual by the name of Jamel Vega, V-E-G-A. You are also to stay away from the address of 5 Johnson Road. Now, as I mentioned earlier, ma'am, if that's somewhere that you were living prior to this incident happened, you are not allowed to return there unless you are accompanied by the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yeah, I have to get my stuff from there.
Yes, ma'am, but you can only go with the sheriff's office, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
I didn't hear the bond amount. It had broke up in between.
3,500.
3,500?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, and last up on judge should be Miss Williams. Okay. And are you Miss Williams? All right, Miss Williams, you are charged with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree, ma'am. That is a felony. And so what that means is you are going to have a preliminary hearing date set for you if you don't make your bond. Your next court date, ma'am, should you not make your bond, is going to be March 24th of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's going to be March 24th. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, as far as your bond, ma'am, you have a bond amount in the amount of $3,000. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, I've reviewed the information that you provided here this morning, and based on the information you provided, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, do you have any questions of me?
So 12% of that, would it be like,
12 to 15% of 3,000, you're looking at roughly about $500, somewhere around in that neighborhood.
okay, thank you so much.
All right. Yes, ma'am, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, so that should take us to the men on jots. First up, I have Brown, Bryant.
Your Honor, we're gonna do Mr. Dennis first because he has a medical.
Gotta get it back to him.
Okay, sure. No problem. All right, are you Mr. Dennis?
Sir.
Right, so Mr. Dennis, you are charged with 1 count of driving under the influence and 1 count of failure to maintain lane. Those are both misdemeanors, sir. I'm not sure if you could hear me, but because you are charged with misdemeanor, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it, sir?
I don't know what's the best choice.
Say that again, Mr. Dennis?
I don't know what's the best choice.
Well, there is no best choice. The one is if you want to have the hearing, that means if you don't make bond, there'll be a hearing where you'll be there, your attorney and the judge, to review the evidence against you and determine if there's enough evidence to go to the prosecutor. If they say there's not enough, your case can be dismissed. If they say there is enough, it goes to the prosecutor. Or I can skip that altogether, move your case a little faster, and you can waive that right to that hearing altogether.
Oh, we made bond, yeah.
Well, this is if you don't make bond. So here's what I'll do, sir. Just to protect you, I'm gonna go ahead and set that preliminary hearing date for you. So if you don't make bond, sir, your next court date is gonna be March 25th at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom, okay? You hear me?
Sure.
All right, so now the next question I have for you, sir. If you, oh, give me one second. I'm sorry, give me 1 second here, Mr. Dennis. Oh, see what I want to do. Okay. So, sir, are you currently working?
Yes, I got 2 jobs, sir.
Where do you work?
I work at FedEx Supply and I work for American Tire Distribution.
Okay. And about how much are you earning per month?
I need to lose my job.
Say that again?
I said, I don't need to lose my job.
Right. I understand. That's what we're working on right now. I understand that. But I guess my question to you first is about how much are you making at that job?
Well, I almost made like $6 grand a month.
Okay. And I understand that you were concerned about whether you would lose that job or not. Do you know if you still have that job if you were to make bond?
But I do work at 7 o'clock.
Say that again?
You work at 7 o'clock.
No.
Yeah. Need my other job in the AM.
Okay. But my question is, if you get out on bond, do you know if you will still have those jobs right now?
Yes, I will. I'll be
Okay.
7, but
I got you. Okay. So now I already told you your next court date, if you don't make bond, is going to be March 25th. Your bond amount, sir, on the DUI is $5,000. Your bond amount on the failure to maintain lane is $500. You got a total bond of $5,500. Okay.
Sir, this actually wasn't my fault. Somebody hit me.
Sir. I can't get into your particulars of your case, but do you understand your bond amount?
Is that? Yes.
Okay. Any other questions I can answer for you, sir?
Is that with the 10%, 15% on the bond?
No, sir. That's without. So if you wanted to pay, use a bonding company, your bond amount on that would be about $6,000. Excuse me, about $600. Excuse me.
I don't have no $5,000 right now.
All right. Well, sir, I've advised you of what your bond is right now. If you're able to make it, you are. Otherwise, as I said, your next court date is going to be next month on the 25th. Good luck to you, sir.
Okay, next we have Brown.
Brown, Bryant, and then Dodge.
Okay.
Hey, to speak to the judge.
$600.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Brown?
Yes, this is Mr. Brown.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
We wanted to know, one of the females, McFab, she wanted to know if she had any restrictions on her license.
None that I saw. No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. All right. Are you Mr. Brown?
But yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Brown, you're charged with 1 count of battery, sir. That is a misdemeanor, which means you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to the hearing. Would you like to have it or waive it, sir?
I really don't know what that means.
All right, sir. So as I said earlier, the preliminary hearing is where you are present, the judge and your attorney, and then you will go over the evidence and determine if there's enough evidence for your case to proceed on to the prosecutor. So I can set that date for that hearing for you for a review of your case before you get to the prosecutor, if you like, and if you don't make your bond, or I can skip it and you can waive your right and I'll just move it on faster to the prosecutor. Which would you like to do then? Have it or waive it?
Wait, that motherfucker. I mean, wait.
All right. So I'm going to show here, sir, that you're asking me to waive your hearing this morning. And so when we are done here this morning, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay? Now, as to your bond, sir, your bond amount on the 1 count of battery is $3,500. And you are also to stay away from the alleged victim here, Mr. Anthony Logan. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have any questions about anything, sir?
No, sir.
All right, sir, then I have gone ahead and advised you of all the necessary information. That's all I've got for you, sir. Good luck to you.
7-6, next. Wait, Brown.
Yep, it should be Mr. Bryant, and then after Mr. Bryant, I've got Dodge and Dumas. So Mr. Bryant, I understand here that you were in the military. All right, sir. So I'm going to advise you a couple things here. One, you were charged with one count of misdemeanor criminal trespass, sir. Your bond amount, sir, on that is going to be $2,500. You are to stay away from Sierra Bryant and also the address of 11339 Chelsea Lane. Do you understand that?
But that's my home address.
Yes, sir. But as I advised earlier, that is your address, but until either your bond's modified or your case is closed, you are to stay away. And the only time that you can return there is with the sheriff. Do you understand that? Is that a yes?
Right.
Is that a yes, sir? Mr. Bryant, do you hear me?
No, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I've advised you the special conditions, sir. I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer here this morning. So you will have a lawyer free of charge. Now, as to that preliminary hearing, I'm going to set that date for you, sir, because you're going to go into our what we call Veterans Court to assist you on your case, okay? So you're going to meet with some people from the Veterans Court here shortly in the next week that are going to talk to you about that program. Do you understand? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir. Good luck to you.
And when does that trial date? I don't.
No, that's not your preliminary hearing date is going to be March 25th of 2025. But you're going to meet with the Veterans Court here probably in the next week to discuss a special program that they're going to put you in for your case.
Now when can I go back to
When can you go back to what?
my house? You said whenever the case is done.
Whenever your case is closed or you get your bond modified.
And how do I get my bond modified?
You speak to your lawyer, sir. You're going to get a lawyer free of charge. Speak to them. They'll discuss it with you.
All right.
All right. Good luck to you.
This way.
Next up to be Dodge, Dumas, and then if I could have Ellerby. Are you Mr. Dodge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dodge, you are charged with one count of simple assault and one count of terroristic threat, sir. Those are both misdemeanors. Would you, based on that, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive that right. Would you like to waive that right, or would you like to set that hearing date, sir?
If I waive the preliminary, how soon would the court date?
It moves it a little faster, but I can't give you exact dates, sir. I don't determine that. That's the prosecutor's office.
And if I just continue with the preliminary,
You'd have it within 30 days.
yeah, what is I'll just go to the preliminary.
All right, sir. So your preliminary hearing date is going to be March 25th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's going to be March 25th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom.
Okay, so if I waive the preliminary, then it's gonna be before that?
It's going to be no, sir. No, sir. It will not. So I've gone ahead and just entered it. So let's just stay with where we are, and then if you make bonds, you'll get out. If not, that's going to be your next court date. As far as your bond amount, sir, on the simple assault, your bond is $3,500. The bond on the terroristic threat is $7,500. So your total bond amount is $11,000. You do have special conditions, sir, and those are to stay away from Eugenia Turkava, I believe that's your mother, and from the address where you resided, that being 1690 Kinglet Road. As I said earlier, if that is somewhere you were living, and it appears it was, that you can only return there items that belong to you, and you have to be accompanied by the sheriff's office. Do you understand that?
Okay, I do. I also I'm gonna have an investigation, a lawsuit of my own going on.
Sir,
Not against my family, but
sir, I cannot get into those things with you. Do you understand what I advised you? All right, good luck to you, sir. It should be Dumas and Ellerby. Are you Mr. Dumas?
yes, sir.
Mr. Dumas, you are charged with one count of misdemeanor keeping a disorderly house, one count of giving false information, one count of obstruction. Those are all misdemeanors, sir. And so because those are all misdemeanors, you have a right to the preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have it or waive it?
I'll have it.
All right, sir. So your next court date, should you not make the bond that I'm going to give you here shortly, is going to be March 25th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that next court date, if you don't make your bond, is March 25th 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, go through your bond amount here that you have that I've set. Your bond on the keeping disorderly house is 1,500, false information, 2,500, obstruction, 2,500. You have a total bond amount of $6,500. Do you understand that, sir? Sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions about anything?
The false information, I don't understand. What was the false information I'm trying to figure out? I'm sorry.
So they were saying here that you provided incorrect information to the officers when they placed you into custody. More than that, you probably want to talk with your lawyer about it.
Okay, yeah, my name, that's it, my name.
Oh, okay, sir. Don't do that on the recording though. You don't wanna say that. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. All right. After Ellerby, I have Gabriel, Green, and Gutierrez. After Ellerby is Gabriel, Green, and Gutierrez. All right. Are you Mr. Ellerby? Are you Ellerby?
Yes, sir.
All right. You are charged here with one count of criminal damage in the second degree. That is a felony. And so because that is a felony, your next court date, should you not make the bond I'm going to give you, is going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's going to be March 24th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Are you currently working?
Yes, sir.
How much do you earn per month?
It depends because like I fix cars and I just started working at Waffle House, so it really kind of depends. I could say about like 1,500 to 2,000, I guess, maybe.
Okay, so based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to appoint you a court-appointed lawyer. You will have a lawyer free of charge for you to assist you on your case, okay? All right, so that's all I have for you, sir. Do you have any questions of me?
Yeah, you said you were gonna give me a bond amount, and then you said it's in the second degree. Why?
Okay, so to answer your first question, the bond amount is $5,000. Thank you for reminding me of that. And you need to stay away from 5724 Riverdale Road. There are two types of criminal damage. There is first degree and there's second degree. The degrees depend on what it is that they are alleging that you made damage to. In this one, they are alleging you made damage to, I believe it was a vehicle. And so that will be the reason for it being a felony.
Did you say a vehicle?
Excuse me, a second degree. I believe that's what it was. I don't have it in front of me. Give me 1 second here and I'll bring it up for you.
Please.
And I'll tell you exactly.
Please.
So it is alleging, holes in the wall and bedroom door. That's what the allegations are. Now, remember, don't comment on that because you're being recorded and there are people around you. So whatever your thoughts are on that, keep that to you so that you can discuss it with your attorney, okay?
Okay, and then you said my bond is 5,000. So like
5,000, yes, sir.
be like 500 and some change or something?
So if you did it through the bonding company, you're looking at, like I said, 12 to 15%. You're looking at about 650 to 700.
650, 700.
Yeah,
All right.
Mr. Dennis.
Okay. All right. If I could have up next, it should be Gabriel, Green, and then Gutierrez.
Okay. 1 second, Your Honor, quick. You could step around. Dodge wants to know if he's eligible for a public defender. Remember.
Give me 1 second. He is.
He is, okay. Come on.
What was that guy's name that just went in there? That's, Ella, yeah.
All right, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you this morning, sir? Are you Mr. Gabriel? Are you Mr. Gabriel?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Gabriel, you are charged here with one count of possession of methamphetamine, one count of possession of cocaine, sir. Those are felonies. And so because those are felonies, I'm going to have to set that preliminary hearing date for you. So if you don't make your bond, sir, your next court date is going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Again, that's going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond, sir, the information that I have before me is that you are currently on probation here out of, I believe it's out of Clayton County. And so as a result of that, I am prohibited from giving you a bond here this morning. And so you're going to have two court dates coming up. That first is going to be that preliminary hearing that's on March 24th of next month at 8:30 a.m. But then you're also going to have a bond hearing to reconsider bond for you. And that's going to be March 28th at 8:30 a.m. And that's also going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about anything, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Now, based on the information that you did provide me here this morning, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer as well. So you will have a lawyer free of charge to assist you on your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Come on, go that
Go
way.
around.
And the sign right here. Next one.
Green.
Which last one?
All right. Good morning, Mr. Green.
Good morning.
So, Mr. Green, I've had an opportunity to review the information provided on the allegations to you. You were initially charged with 1 count of failure to carry a license, 1 count of window tint, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce, and possession of a drug-related object. Sir, I have dismissed the felony gun charge against you because it was inappropriately brought by the police officers. And so based on that, sir, you were only dealing with misdemeanors at this time. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, understanding that you are only dealing with traffic charges, I have reviewed the information brought against you and have decided that we are going to release you this morning. Now, let me be clear. That does not mean that your case is closed. It simply means that until you get your next court date, you will be allowed to be out. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, before you are released here later today, please make sure that the deputies in the sheriff's office has your best known address, because that will be where that next court date will be sent. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right.
Mr. Green, walk around that way. Go right hand side. Last name?
All right, after Gutierrez, I have Owen Enriques, Holmes, and Moore. Enriques, Holmes, and Moore. All right, are you Mr. Gutierrez?
Sir.
All right, so Mr. Gutierrez, you were charged with 1 count of impeding a traffic flow, 1 count of no license, and 1 count of theft by receiving as a felony. Because you were charged with a felony, sir, I'm going to give you a court date here, your preliminary hearing. So should you not make the bond that I'm going to give you shortly, your next court date is going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m., and that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's going to be March 34th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Excuse me. Mr. Gutierrez, are you currently working?
No, sir.
So your bond amount, sir, on the impeding traffic flow is $500, no license is $1,000, and theft by receiving as a felony is $5,000. Your total bond amount is $6,500. Do you understand that?
And if I go through a bonding company, how much would that be?
So you're looking at roughly about $800.
800.
Yes, sir.
And if I post bond today, I can get out by tomorrow or something.
So I can't tell you how quickly it's going to be. It does take a few hours for them to process you out. So that will probably be a question better reserved for the sheriff's office.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Other than that, the only thing I need to tell you, sir, is I have appointed you a court-appointed lawyer to assist you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Not right. And then sign here.
Are you Mr. Enrique?
Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're charged with 1 count of theft by receiving a stolen property, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, 1 count of possession of an altered VIN, and then 1 count of driving on a suspended license. Other than I'm sorry?
Your Honor, the firearm is.
No, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. You don't want to comment about that. As I said at the beginning, sir, we are live and being recorded. There are officers around you, so you need to be careful.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Now, let me just advise you, you are charged, all of those are felonies except that suspended license charge. So I am going to go ahead because of that and give you your next court date. So I'm going to give you a bond this morning, but if you don't make your bond, your next court date, sir, is going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m. and that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, as to your bond, sir, the theft by receipt carries a bond amount of $5,000. The possession of vehicle with altered VIN carries a bond amount of $1,000. And then I apologize, sir. I did forget to tell you a couple things. The firearm charge, based on the information I was provided, I did actually dismiss that charge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the suspended license, I've dismissed that as well. So you're only facing the by receiving and the VIN charge. So your total bond is $6,000, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. God bless you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Enjoy.
Now, with the information I provided, you provided to me this morning, sir, I have gone ahead and appointed you a court-appointed lawyer as well. So
Okay.
you will have a lawyer free of charge. So again, the only charges you are facing are the felony theft and the VIN, and the suspended license charge. March 24, 2025, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom is going to be your prelim date, and I've given you a lawyer free of charge, okay?
Yes, but the thing is for the plate, it's not, my license is good, Your Honor.
So okay. Remember what I was saying at the beginning, sir. You don't want to tell me those things. So it's
Okay.
best for you to discuss that when you get a lawyer.
Okay.
I can only go off the information that's provided to me when you were arrested.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. All right, should be Holmes, Moore, and Spencer.
What's your first name? This is the only time right here. This is my name.
Holmes, Moore, and Spencer. Are you Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Mr. Holmes, you are charged with 1 count of reckless driving, 1 count of obstruction of an officer. Sir, those are both misdemeanor charges. Now, I've had an opportunity here, sir, to review the information that was provided to me. And based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and release you this morning while your case is still pending. Now, let me be clear, sir, you're being released. Your case is not being dismissed. And so what that means is you will need to make sure before you are released here today that the sheriff's office has the best known address for you so that they can make sure that they send over to you that next court date, because it's going to be sent to that address that you leave with them, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your Honor.
To be Moore, Spencer, and Kendall. Are you Mr. Moore?
Yes, sir.
Moore, you are charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, 1 count of ag assault, 1 count of tampering with evidence, 1 count of obstruction, 1 count of discharging of a firearm on property of another, 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Several of those charges, sir, are felonies. And as a result of that, I'm going to give you a bond this morning on some of them. But I need to let you know on some of those you will not as well. Now, because you are charged with felonies, your preliminary hearing date, you get an automatically, as I said before. That date is going to be March 24th at 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Again, that's March 24th. That's 8:30 a.m. And that's going to be via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
Are you currently working, Mr. Moore?
Yes, sir, I do.
Where do you work?
I work at Maxway's connection with Roses.
Okay. And how much are you making per month?
I make about $1,400 a month.
Okay.
I get paid every 2 weeks, about $700 every 2 weeks. So about
Okay.
$200 a month.
Okay. So based on that, sir, I am going to go ahead and appoint you a court-appointed lawyer, so you'll get a public defender free of charge. Okay.
Okay, but I got one question though. Okay, as far as my job goes.
Hold on, Mr. Moore. Hold on. Let me get through what I got to say first, and then I'll answer your question. Let me tell you your bond. Your bond amount, sir, on the tampering with evidence as a misdemeanor is $2,500. The misdemeanor obstruction, $2,500. The discharge of a firearm is $5 grand. The firearm by a convicted felon is $10 grand. Now, as to the aggravated assault and the possession of firearms in the commission of a crime, sir, those are both going to be in a no bond. And so that's why you're going to have 2 court dates. So that first court date I gave you earlier is March 24th of 2025 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. But you will have a bond hearing date to consider bond on those charges that I have given you a no bond on. And that's going to be March 28th again at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Now, when you are given a bond on those charges, if you are given a bond, you do have special conditions, sir. And those are to stay away from the alleged victim in this matter. My understanding is, and I don't need you to comment, but my understanding is it says here that you may have been living at this address, but the victim that you were to stay away from is a Mr. Christopher Johnson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You are also to stay away from the address where this was alleged to have happened as well. I have that address as 1207 Magnolia Drive. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, with the information, as I said before, that you've given me, I've gone ahead, I've given you a court-appointed lawyer. I've explained to you that you're on a no bond on a couple of those charges. You got court dates coming up, the 24th and 28th of March for your prelim and your bond hearing date. Now, Mr. Moore, I understand that there are some things you want to say, but again, I will remind you, as I said at the beginning,
Okay.
you do not want to talk to me about the specific facts of your case. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right, what is it that you'd like to say, sir?
Don't worry about it, sir.
All right, I thought so. Good luck to you, Mr. Moore.
Yeah, we don't.
All right, are you Mr. Spencer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Spencer, you are charged with one count of trespass and one count of battery family violence. Those are both misdemeanors, sir. Because they are misdemeanors, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right. Which would you like to do, sir? Have it or waive it?
Waive it, sir.
All right, so I am going to show here this morning that you are waiving your right. So once we are done, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay?
More.
Now, as to your bond amount here, sir, your bond on the trespass is a bond amount of $3,500. On the battery, $3,500, for a total of $7,000. You do have special conditions, sir, and they are to stay away from Miss Quanisha Duffy, as well as the address of 5792 Rock Shoals Way. Now, if, as I said before, that is somewhere that you were living prior to the incident happened, remember, you cannot return to that address unless you make your bond and you are accompanied by the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release, okay? You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Spencer, if you don't have any questions for me, that's all I have for you, sir, other than to let you know I have appointed you a court-appointed lawyer. Good luck to you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right, next up should be Kendall and Israel.
I just wanna make sure I have.
Are you Mr. Kendall?
Once we get around us, tell them that so,
I'm sorry.
yeah, we can bring.
It should be, I have Tyndall, Israel.
1 second, we still had him in the, he was a little
Okay.
aggressive earlier, so 1 second.
Okay, if you want to do Israel, I can do that one while we're here.
Okay, so we can do Israel.
All right, so are you Mr. Israel, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, so, sir, I have here that you are charged with one count of misdemeanor terroristic threat. That is a misdemeanor. And so because of that, sir, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive that right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it, sir?
I'll waive it.
All right, so I am going to show that you're waiving your right to that hearing this morning. And so once we are done here this morning, you will have a piece of paper for the deputies to sign, or they'll have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay?
Yeah.
Now, as to your bond amount, as to a terroristic threat, the bond amount is $5,000. You do have special conditions, sir, and they are to stay away from the alleged victim, Noya Tyndall. Do you understand that?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, stay away from the alleged victim, Noya Tyndall.
Oh, that's, I think that's a different case. That's not me.
You need to
Israel.
see
Oh,
why.
excuse me. I apologize, Mr. Israel. I was looking. My apologies, Mr. Israel. The computer. I apologize. The computer did that. It's a little funky sometimes. So let's back up, Mr. Israel. So, Mr. Israel, you are charged with one count of simple battery family violence, one count of battery family violence, and one count of criminal trespass family violence. Those are all misdemeanors. I am showing you waived. We're still going to waive this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so going through your bond, sir, your bond amount in that simple battery is $2,500. Your battery is $3,500, and the trespass is $2,500. So your total bond is $8,500. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, special conditions you still do have. They are involving an alleged victim of Keela Israel, and then the address of 2341 Alden Woods. Now, the information I have, Mr. Israel, is that you were living or may have been living at that address at the time. I don't need you to comment on it, but remember, sir, as I said at the beginning, if that was a place that you were living previous to this incident, please understand that you are not allowed to return there unless it's within 10 days of your release on bond and you are accompanied by the sheriff's office. Do you understand that?
Okay.
All right, sir. Any questions that you have for me about anything?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Mr. Wallace?
All right. So, yep, if we're going to skip him, then I've got Wallace and Watson next. And are you Mr. Wallace?
Yes, sir.
Israel.
All right, so Mr. Wallace, you are charged here with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of public indecency, sir. Those are both misdemeanors. Now, because you are charged with misdemeanors, you have a right to a preliminary hearing, or you can waive your right to that hearing. Would you like to have that hearing, or would you like to waive that hearing? I don't know if you heard me earlier. The biggest difference being the hearing where you were present, the police officer's present, and they review your case to determine if there's enough evidence. Or I can skip that altogether. It's a little quicker and move it straight to the prosecutor.
Waive it, sir.
All right, so sir, I am going to show that you've asked me to waive your preliminary hearing here this morning. And so once we are done, the deputies will have a piece of paper for you to sign, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, as to your bond amount, sir, the give me 1 second, Mr. Wallace.
Yes, sir.
Your bond amount, sir, as to the trespass is a bond amount of $2,000. As to the public indecency, it's also a bond amount of $2,000. Now, you do have special conditions, sir, and they are to stay away from Hartsfield Airport unless you are there for business or to travel. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. Unless you have any questions for me, that's all I have for you.
No, sir, I don't have any questions, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Watts? Mr. Wallace, sign right here. Right here.
All right.
So we're gonna bring out Kendall now because he.
What, are you Mr. Watts?
We're gonna bring. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Watts, you are charged with 1 count of violation of a Georgia Controlled Substances Act, but having in possession an illegal drug of a felony amount. You are also charged with possession of drug-related objects. The drug charge, the first one, is a felony, sir. Now, because you are charged with a felony, that means I'm gonna have to give you what is called a preliminary hearing date. So should you not make the bond amount I'm gonna give you, your next court date is gonna be March 24th of 2025, and that's gonna be at 8:30 a.m., and that's gonna be via Zoom. Again, that's March 24th, 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand that, sir?
Come on, they can go back.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now as to your bond amount, sir, the bond on that first charge regarding the possession of drugs is $3,500. The bond on the possession of drug-related objects is $1,000. So you have a total bond of $4,500, okay?
All right.
All right, sir, if you don't have any questions, that's all I have. Good luck to you, sir.
Just on ten.
You too.
You know me, man.
All right, so that should just leave Freeman and Mr. Tyndall, whichever you got.
I ain't said nothing. Hush. Okay, that's like you know me, man.
Yeah, right one today.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yeah, this man-
Shut up.
1 second, Your Honor.
No problem.
Watts. Okay. You don't have to sign.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Who do you need next?
Either one, we can do either Freeman or Tyndall, whichever you guys prefer.
I have Freeman right here.
All right, we can go ahead and handle him.
Come on, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. You Mr. Freeman?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Freeman, your situation is a little different than the other
Yes.
gentlemen. I'm sure you know
Yes.
already.
Yes.
You were picked up here in Clayton County because you had an outstanding warrant out of state. The information that I have is it looks as if they are allegations involving yourself and some criminal violations out of Southampton, Colorado.
Virginia, sir. Stop.
Excuse me. Okay, so then Virginia, Southampton County, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
So a couple of options here for you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, because you are here on a warrant from out of state, you got the option to fight that warrant.
Yeah.
You can say to me, Judge, I
Yeah.
don't believe that the state of Virginia drafted that warrant and did the necessary paperwork that they are supposed to in order to bring me back. Okay?
Mhm.
If you believe that that's the case and you want to fight it, they get 60 days to get their paperwork in order and come have a hearing. If they don't do it within 60 days, they get another 30. So you could potentially wait here for 90 days before you have the hearing, not on the charges, but on just to make sure that they did it correctly. Option number 2 is you say to me, Judge, I'd rather not wait. Please just send me back, and then I will deal with it when I get there to Virginia. And if they don't come get you within 30 days, the sheriff's office will automatically release you. Knowing that, those two options, sir, Mr. Freeman, how would you like to proceed? Would you like to fight the way that they did things, or would you like them to go ahead and send you back?
We could go, I'll go ahead and go back, still fight
Okay.
out of here. before I even get-
Okay. So you got, there're gonna be about 6 documents. They're all gonna look exactly the same, but the deputies are gonna have you sign that, and then once you sign that, they will notify Virginia, state of Virginia, specifically Southampton County, and they'll start that process of getting you back headed that way, okay?
Oh, now, a question, cause I know the investigator told me 10 to 15 days. You just said 30, so which one?
30 days, sir.
30, okay.
30 days, sir. Yep. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir, appreciate it.
Around this way.
Yes, sir.
Need you to sign. Right here, what's it?
Yeah, that we got mad about.
We got mad.
You know me.
I'll get a copy of all this.
Yeah, it's the same paper.
Huh?
It's just-
That's what I'm bad for.
Oh, he had 24. He was But you mean behind you back?
We send them on, so it stays in the system.
No, I'm saying like the other thing, the state changed their mind.
Oh, it just depends on you. That's how long they have to come get you.
Oh, you can't.
Hold on. Let me make sure.
Are you Mr. Tyndall?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Tyndall, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes,
that's
sir.
your copy, okay?
All right, so I'm gonna make this quick for you, sir. You're charged with 1 count of terroristic threat, sir. Mr. Tyndall, that is a misdemeanor. You have a right to a preliminary hearing, sir, or you can waive that right to that preliminary hearing. Would you like to have that hearing or waive it, sir? Can you hear me, Mr. Tyndall?
Yeah, I like to have it.
Okay, I'm gonna set that court date for you, sir. It's gonna be March 25th. It's gonna be at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom for your hearing. Again, that's March 25th at 8:30 a.m. and that's gonna be via Zoom. So again, if you don't make the bond that I'm gonna give you here shortly, then that'll be the next time that you have a court appearance. Now, as to your bond amount, sir, your bond amount is $5,000. You do also have special conditions, and they are to stay away from a Kanoya Kendall. Do you understand that? You'd have no contact at all with her, okay?
So off of 5,000, I have to pay 500.
Say that one more time.
So off of 5,000, I have to pay 500.
You mean if you're using the bonding company?
You pay that today, right?
Yeah, so if you use a bonding company, you'd be responsible for between 12 to 15%. So you're looking at closer to 650, 700.
So can I request to be put in a cell by myself until then?
So that will be with the sheriff's office. You'd have to speak to the sheriff's office regarding that. Okay? Good luck to you, Mr. Tyndall.
Excuse me. Judge,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I ain't about to sit here no, I ain't about to.
So he's a 24. Come on, sir.
No,
Mr. Tyndall, Mr. Tyndall,
I'm
Mr.
gonna die.
Tyndall.
I'm gonna die today, Judge. They trying to kill me. They gotta.
Okay, Mr. Tyndall, thank you. Good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, folks.
Have a good weekend or good week coming up.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.